Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Alberta's pride. Hey, ho, hey, ha, ha, hey, this hey, 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 whoa. Out in Alberta where the Rockies rise, Tommy Temper streaming with fire in his eyes.
Yo,
lake house glowing in the moonlight's gleam. He's the YouTube king of the widest.
How's you doing today? Thank you very much. Appreciate the pat on the back. Oh yeah.
Bubbling under starlit skies. He's calling out the haters with truth in his lines. Talking about the world from the left to the right. Tommy's got the mic, keeping it tight.
That's right. Wow. Appreciate your company, everyone. Thanks a lot for coming into the show. We're doing quite well here, with our numbers of people watching across the different platforms. Appreciate that.
He's dodging all the trolls like a champion dream. From Alberta's heart, he's lighting up the night. Tommy Temper's truth is his guiding light. With a wink and a grin, he's taking on the fight.
That's right.
All the tea in the YouTube live. From the hot tub to the Rockies, he's living it free. Tommy Temper's the streamer we all want to see. Oh, Tommy Temper, you're a great guy. Battling trolls with a spark in your eye.
Appreciate your company. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the world, which we'll be going over. Whoa, first in, CJ. Good to see you there, CJ. We got Dachshund Grandma Carrie's musings. Looking good. Thanks a lot, everyone, for popping in. We've got an interesting day of news. Lots of things have happened. What's happened in your life? Well, you can comment on some of the stuff that I'll be bringing up here. Looks interesting. That's for sure. How are you doing today? I'm doing terribly well, as I always say when people ask me how I'm doing, because, it covers all bases, whether you're feeling great or you're doing terrible. I don't have to eat them on air here because just before I went on, I finished my regimen of vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. So we're all hopped up with the minerals here, ready to do the show. Are you? I've actually finished my coffee too. Actually, I was kind of groggly there because I was talking to a friend of mine there for, about an hour or so before I went on here. That's why I'm so late, Hey, don't phone me so early in the morning. Because then I don't start the show, which, hey, doing a show, I can talk to a lot more people than just one person on the phone, you know what I mean? Yeah, stuff going on. It's a nice day here, as you can see. We've got a little bit of wind out there. I'm a little concerned about the wind, and it is sunny right now as I look out the window, but it was kind of cloudy for most of the morning, and the forecast is, kind of a little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud and stuff like that. And but the wind is actually the concerning thing because, people don't like to sit on the beach when it's really windy, and where the lake is situated here, we're on the south shore of the lake, and the wind blows from the northwest, so it blows right across the lake onto the shore, right where all the beachgoers are sitting and stuff like that. So it's a little bit tough. Oh, I went to this thing and I got this T-shirt. So thanks a lot. Yeah, right here. The let's see. Let's show you. Sylvan Lake bike motorcycle rally is what it is. Sylvan Lake Motorcycle Rally. So thanks to the Sylvan Lake Motorcycle Rally for giving me the T-shirt here. I appreciate that. And there's even a thing on the back of it here. Hang on, I'll show you that. I don't know if I can show you. Oops. Like my microphone popped out here. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, so it's got a nice design on the back of it. I don't even know if you saw it there because I can't see. I don't, like how your mother had eyes on the back of her head and she could see everything that you were doing. I don't have that. I can't see behind me. So I just do what I can do. You know what I mean? Hey, Lynn, good to see you there. Mr. Lynn Belvedere. Welcome to the Tommy Temper Show. Appreciate you popping in there. Not your Ella. It is not your Ella. Hey, good to see you. Nice to see you in the chat. Yeah, as people come on in here, hopefully I can say hi to you. Yeah, it's interesting news out there. Some of the typical stuff. My feed. I don't know. I just get my feed of news and stuff like that, and it just comes in here on a daily basis. So I don't know if I get the same regurgitated stuff that everyone else is getting, or mine is different. Probably a little bit different, but not the stuff that you'd see on mainstream media. So that's a good thing. We like to not really get our news from the mainstream media. Although, yeah, sorry to hear that they had that big fire in Spokane. There were, like over 700 structures destroyed, people displaced, and yeah, we never like to see things like that. I was hearing something. This is just, like through the grapevine, where people were talking about that maybe there was about 3 or more fires that started, and not just one guy with a Bic lighter and some matches. So I don't know about that, but I just kind of heard that today. So I thought that was interesting. If it was more than one fire, that is unconfirmed, but just hearing that through the grapevine. Yeah, lots of people displaced. Their houses burned down along the Okanagan, in the Okanagan area in the central part of British Columbia, and fires still ongoing there. At last report, there were like over 120 fires burning in British Columbia, with a number of them still under control. Over 100 homes burnt along mostly along the shore, in that shore area. It's kind of a valley there with a really long lake that goes through the interior of BC. And yeah, people lost their homes. There were, videos of people escaping by getting on their boat and or swimming. There was one video of a guy holding on to the end of a pier or something like that, doing a video showing his house burning on the shore. So yeah, some pretty epic photos and stuff like that. I put some of that stuff on my last show there. So yeah, you can take a look at my very last one there. We got Pooh in there. Hey Pooh, good to see you. We got John Paul in there. Hey, nice to see you as well. Got more and more people coming in here. Usually it takes about an hour, before I build up the like the viewer level in the live. And I've seen that. I've actually looked at the stats, and actually YouTube is pretty good for giving you stats of minute by minute, how many people are watching, how many people are subbed, how many people are engaging, that kind of stuff. Like all of those stats come back to you. So like I know that like peak viewership happens after about 1 hour of being on a live, whereas if you post a video, it's just how many people watch it, over a period of time, whatever. And actually, you probably get more people. Like I have seen way more people watching with a little 15-minute video than with a live, So lives are, not all they're made up to be. It's okay to go live, but it's hard to get a good audience unless you've got a really, really good engaging title on something that's absolutely happening right now, like some new war breaks out and you're covering some new war or something like that, or some brand new riot or something happening somewhere, then you'll have like I had 1,500 people watching when I was covering the riots that were happening in the UK there last month. So, but whatever, it is what it is. We like getting in here and seeing what everybody has to say. And lots of people popping in. We've got Herman the Tosser. Hey, Herman, good to see you from the UK. Just talking about you guys over there. Yeah, I still see stuff that's going on there. And we have that new hate law that just came in here in Canada. And I phoned the police about somebody hating on me. And apparently I wasn't. I don't know if maybe I wasn't the right ethnicity to look into whatever it was. I was not an identifiable group. Maybe because they kept harping on when I was on the phone with the police, saying, yeah, but it's got to be an identifiable group. Well, what about me as an individual? Am I not an identifiable or part of an identifiable group? I don't know. Don't hate. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mr. Lynn. Oh, wow. Thanks for the love there. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Been watching you and sometimes talking since the trucker convoy, says Nutrella. Hey, thanks a lot. I do appreciate that. Yeah. Well, you come in here off and on over a period of time. Sometimes I forget people's names if they don't come in here all that often. But yeah, they know who you are. Yeah, exactly. They know who I am. They'll be banging on my door. I know. FBI, open up! Yeah, exactly. Oh, what's that? You did a review of the Stockwell Day bit there. What a bunch of BS. What? He was an MP of mine, by the way. And where Polyev got to start working for that corrupt prick. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I saw what he was posting stuff that was news articles. That's all. It was all news article type stuff. But, hey, it was a bit. It was on the internet, and I showed what was going on there. Barbara Walters, thank you very much. By the way, you changed your name way too often. I don't know why you keep changing it over and over. Stick with one name there so we can know who the hell you are. We're all going to get jail under C9. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's hate speech against other people, an identifiable group, and you can't just tell people to go home. If it's an identifiable group that you tell them to go home, well, then you're in deep shit. You're going to get you'll get put in jail for a little while, and then after your jail sentence, you'll get deported. I don't know where are we going to get deported to? Yeah, the government will have to figure that one out. Maybe to the far north or something like that, to Siberia, Canadian Siberia, to Tuk. You have to live up in Tuk for the rest of your life. Oh my God, that would be pretty bad in the middle of winter. Good to see you there, Mama Red. You guys doing your thing there against the Billy. Billy is in jail was the very latest thing that I heard there. Yeah. When you posted that, thanks a lot for that super chat on telling us that information. But sad to hear that Billy's in jail. I don't know what's with people. They're like, Red and Billy were in a pretty big feud there for the longest time. So I guess you guys are happy to see that something like that happened, and you probably have a grin on your face, But hey, nobody likes to see anybody go to jail, and it happens to people, and I guess sometimes it's well deserved. What can I say? Yeah. Oh, they're going to send us to India. That's what they'll do. Yeah. If you say something bad and you're like a regular Canadian, shall I say? Yeah, and people go like, Tommy thinks that there's regular Canadians out there. They're going to send us to India. Well, if you say something bad, put it that way, on a cultural exchange project. Yeah, exactly. What is the latest here? The latest is on Perez Hilton. Perez, or Z if you're in the States. Hilton. The celebrity blogger, if you've never heard of him, he is a celebrity blogger. But the very latest is that he did a video where a live video, because he's a live guy, he does live stuff just like me. Well, he went on social media, I think on TikTok. I think he's big on TikTok. And he did a video where he had a knife in his hand, and he's busily, like cutting himself, like cutting himself here and, like all over probably his arms and stuff like that. And then he holds his hand out like this with a bunch of blood on his hand. I'll just describe what happened because I'm not going to show you the video here. The video is pretty graphic, and you would go like, you'd be throwing up if you saw it there, probably like, oh, I feel bad. Yeah. But anyways, who does something like that? Who slashes them? Oh, it was about some deal. He made some deal for like $10 million and with somebody over in Africa or something like that, like some scammer or something. I don't even know what the scam was. I don't even care what the scam it was, right? But he made some deal for like $10 million, and then turns out that it didn't work out. I don't know if I can give you more details on that here. Yeah, even the thing I'm looking at doesn't even talk about why he did it. But anyways, he's all covered in blood. It was just a pretty sad scene. It was terrible. Let's hear about the terriblest in the world with Perez Hilton.
Really disturbing news for Perez Hilton, who was just seen on TikTok live stream visibly harming himself. There was visible blood and cuts in the stream. We can't really show that for obvious reasons. It is reported from some people who said that he was in his home with his mother and young children in Miami, although I have not verified that information myself. That is what was reported by other people. It was also reported that he is barricaded in his home. As you know, Perez Hilton is not actually related to Paris Hilton. He is a celebrity. He's kind of the first celebrity blogger. He had a website where he shared celeb gossip, and now he's been on TikTok sort of sharing gossip about TikTokers, and he did get banned multiple times because of the fact that he was seen as bullying people like, I think, Charlie D'Amelio. One of those, maybe Addison Rae. Yeah.
So anyways, that's a bit of a background on the guy. I just, from some of the other clips that I've seen of him, he doesn't seem to be all there, and I think anybody that would start cutting themselves up because of something not working out for them has more psychological problems than, shall we say, the average person like you or me or the trolls out there. Okay. The troll. It's funny how the trolls think they're like normal. No, you're not normal. Those people that start up another channel and it's a hit channel and all they do is make fun of other people and troll other people and stuff like that. Yeah, you're the deranged ones, not the people that you're talking about. You think that, you make fun of the people with the YouTube channels, and like they're the bad guys. Yeah. No, you're the ones that have some kind of a psychological problem. So be careful, or you might end up like Perez there. You don't want that to happen. Anyways, that was something that we caught happening there today. And the Edmonton police, they also came out with this report here too, with this thing here. The Edmonton police lists, get this, offensive jokes. Apparently, hate speech, an offensive joke, like let's say that I don't know, what if I told a Newfie joke? Would that be offensive? Let's see, what kind of a joke? Maybe a joke about, I don't know, an Irish guy. Would that be an offensive joke, or a Russian joke, or a Ukrainian joke, or like an identifiable group joke? You know what I mean? A Jewish joke, a Muslim joke. You know what I mean? What? A joke is offensive, and that would actually get me investigated by the Edmonton police, and possibly a hate crime slammed on me. Meanwhile, people are telling me to jump into a freaking waterfall, and because I can breathe underwater, and other people talking about that. Actually, I've got that one up here. I should bring it up here. Offensive jokes. Oh no. Let's see. Name calling. Well, we hear people calling names all the time on the internet. It's just the way it works, right? Slurs. What's a slur? What do you mean by a slur? Insulting language. Don't insult anyone, whatever you do today, especially if you're in Canada, because you'll end up in jail. SW in there. Good to see you there, SW. Good morning. Good morning. We got Big D in there. Big D. Do you know the difference between gossip and news? Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, you're talking about Perez there. I don't know what his blog was about there, but gossip probably, no doubt about it. Yeah. I don't know. Do I gossip? And what's news? I don't, like news to me is like what's happening in the world, stuff like that. I get, and this, what I'm reporting right now, well, this is news because this is an actual thing from the Edmonton Police Department. Like, look at the header on it here. Oh, hang on. Jeez. How the hell did that pop back in there again? But anyways, what I'm reporting is absolute news, okay? For me, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it news or you can call it gossip or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm here for fun. Keep that in mind. I'm here for fun, but I don't like to say things that are incorrect. Like I have been hit with misinformation, because the way it works on YouTube is that if you spew out misinformation and people report your misinformation, then you'll receive a strike, which will prevent you from going live for about 10 days, okay? And I've had many strikes like that where I couldn't stream for 10 days, and you get a strike against your channel. And if you get 3 strikes on your channel, then your channel disappears. It's gone. They remove it off of the platform. So yeah, you don't want to give out misinformation. That's the last thing that you want to do. You want to tell people the truth, and we try and do that. But what I report or what I talk about, and of course I get my stuff from dubious sources to begin with, so that the stuff could be tainted. It's all opinion. And every news story that you read out there is opinionated towards the slant of the guy that's putting it out there, spewing it out there, whether it be the mainstream media, which that we can't trust their reporting because they slant it towards a left side of the fence, close to communism, socialism, you name that whole side of it there. It's slanted, absolutely slanted. And likewise, the stuff that I like looking at is not that left slanted stuff. I don't like seeing that. And sometimes you can tell what the slant is on the news story, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's like embedded in there. Hang on. Got to adjust my chair here a little bit. Sometimes you can't figure that out. Yeah, I'm slouching a little bit here, and I don't want to be slouching in front of the camera here. Otherwise, I get a bad reputation. My reputation is pretty sullied as it is. So, let me just burp on air here. Holy jeez. Just to add some variety to add some variety to the show. Oh, speaking of lefties, okay, you got to check this out here. Leftist Vancouver City Councillor Sean Orr was filmed spitting on himself and showing off his 2 belly buttons at a recent rock show. He has previously tweeted, "All pigs must DIE," and that a secret cabal of certain people that Brett doesn't like run the Vancouver planning.
Fuck all the fucking way off.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, this is the dude here, and he apparently, I have it up here, the part where you can actually see his 2 belly buttons here. Okay, so This is the bit here. And what is this thing about? How many belly buttons do you have? You know, like I've got one belly button, you know, and mine is, you know, and there's like, what is it? 4 different kind of belly buttons. You know, there's the innie, there's the outie, and I don't even know what the other 2 types of belly buttons are. But this guy does have 2 belly buttons. And there you go. There's his 2 belly buttons. And hang on, this might be copyright music, so let me play this thing here. Yeah, where he goes on stage. It's a rock concert, and he's such a cool guy there. I don't know if he's inebriated or what, that he would actually go on stage and do that. But why is he so proud that he's got 2 belly buttons? And what the hell is that with the 2 belly buttons? Like who the hell has 2 belly buttons? You know, look at there. He's got one in the normal place, the upper one there, and then he's got a lower one. Or did people do that where you go to you know, a tattoo / artist and get them to carve you up a new belly button or something? Because I know they embed those things underneath people's skins, you know, to give them horns and stuff like that. You know, like you know, they call that body modification. You know, are you into body modification? Myself, I'm not so much into body modification. My body was modified when I was too young to be able to complain about it. You know what I'm getting at? But other than that, my body is pretty much the way it came when I was popped out of the chamber. You know what I mean? I haven't not one tattoo, not one earring, not one nose ring. No nose rings on here. I should actually get a fake nose ring or something, you know, and put that on. Get some fake earrings or something here. I probably need that to be like 2026. You know, we need that to happen. Yeah. By the way, oil and gas, Alberta. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, for those people that just hate to see it, you know, for those mongers out there, hey, peace and Alberta independence. We're going for Alberta independence. Yeah, there's a lot of other people out there that are promoting and are like thumbs up on the Alberta independence. And yeah, we're pushing for that. That's why the Tommy Temper Show always talks about Alberta independence, because we're a province in the country of Canada, and we're being bashed all the time, stomped on. Our head is on the ground, the knee is on our neck, and we're sick and tired of being you know, taken advantage of by Ottawa. So we want independence. It's actually the good thing. But getting back to this guy here and the 2 belly buttons, how the hell do you get 2 belly buttons? Is that a real thing? Is that a medical thing? Or is it just that the guy had his body modified to put another hole right there where there shouldn't be a hole? And why the hell would somebody have 2 belly buttons? It doesn't make sense. If he had one to begin with when he was born, why would he think, oh, I needed a second belly button? Or do people have 2 umbilical cords? Does it actually happen? Yeah, my button winks for you. Yeah, I bet more than your belly button winks, Barbara. Jeez, what's the matter with you? This is getting to be pretty crazy here today. Settle down. Yeah, settle down, exactly. What? Tommy, they lob off a couple of extra inches. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Thanks for the concern. Yeah, but anyways, the double belly button thing, I saw that and I thought, I'm going to pass on that story. I'm not going to talk about that one here. But and then I said, okay, yeah, I'll include it with today because it's just stupid, you know, and there's just such stupid stuff out there. It's just unbelievable. And it's under the category of
fuck all the fucking way off.
That's right. You can't make this shit up. You know, I need a button that says you can't make this shit up. Dun 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 dun. Well, you just cannot make this shit up. Yeah, you can. It's mostly bullshit. And remember, don't give me a strike for the bullshit, okay? Don't go calling on Google or Facebook or wherever you're watching on and complain about me because I'm such a bad guy because I'm showing and talking about guys with 2 belly buttons and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, we got this one. This one here. If you know, we were talking about the hate crime and that kind of stuff that is going on in Alberta here, Edmonton especially. And we've got this video that I can play you, and this is actually from the Edmonton police. This is Edmonton police. Not all hate looks the same, but all hate causes harm. That's right. I know that. People are hating on me and telling me I should jump in a freaking waterfall. Hate crime, a criminal offense motivated by hate. Well, somebody hating me, wouldn't that be a hate crime? Because it would be motivated by hate against me, and then they want me to jump in the river, including violence, threats. What's a threat? Oh, vandalism or property damage. A hate incident. What's a hate incident? Okay. A hate incident is hateful words like jump in because you can breathe underwater. That would be hateful words. Actions where what's actions? Like somebody giving you the finger. I guess that, would that be it? Would that be the action? Or symbols that may not meet the threshold of a criminal offense. Symbols like a swastika. You don't want to have the swastika anywhere. Like get it off of your avatar or something like that. You don't want that on there.
Fuck all the fucking way off.
Yeah, and if you experience or witness hate, report it. Report it online at edmontonpolice.ca/hate. Or in an emergency, or if it's a crime in progress, dial 911. Let's hear this. Oh, hang on. All it is it's got some copyright music. But anyways, you can see the video rolling there. Hate has no home in our city. But when you actually phone the police and you report the police, like my last video that I did, my last live, where I actually live on air pointed out that the fact that people were hating on me, the city police said, an identifiable group, okay? And she kept repeating that it had to be an identifiable group where the hate was put out against. But if it's a person that I'm not part of a supposed whatever the hell an identifiable group is, I'm a group called maybe a white Caucasian, okay? I'd be part of that group, okay? So I am part of a group, right? And if they don't like me as a group or me as whatever I am, and they're hating against me, well, you should look into it instead of just sloughing it off because you guys say you're going to do that. But if you don't actually do it, well, what good is that? Yeah. Oh, what's this one here? I don't have anything against this here, but this popped in, and I thought it was kind of interesting is why some people immigrate. Okay, why do some people immigrate? We'll listen to this guy here. Listen to his words very carefully. Okay, why does he want to immigrate? Let's listen here. And this is to the UK.
I want my money and my free house and English woman. It's my dream. If everyone can have that, we want it. You can't get that anywhere else. England is good.
Yeah, okay. I want my money and my free house and my English woman. Okay. And then I will be happy. I don't know. That's kind of a little bit dicey there. Brett, I don't know if you heard about this one here. This one here is kind of weird. Like, look at, I don't know what's going on here, but this is the story in Edmonton where a man was allegedly trying to stab Jewish people at the Edmonton Heritage Festival, and Palestine protesters chant in support. I don't know if you heard this story there, Brett. It is a sad story, and this is kind of, I don't know if that's the guy with that must be the guy with the knife in there. He's trying to be apprehended by somebody else there. Luckily, it's not on video because we can't show you that. Otherwise, it would be some kind of an infringement or something. You know what I mean? But here's the story here on that happening in Edmonton. We have something called Heritage Festival in Edmonton. Oh, and this guy was apparently a Somalian. He was a Somalian that, and this happened because what Heritage Days is, it's where we celebrate in Canada multiculturalism. Oh, multiculturalism. Oh, it's the old mosaic. It's like allow everybody in Canada to celebrate where they came from and their heritage and stuff like that. And it's not like the melting pot where everybody becomes Canadian, but it's like celebrating the fact that people came from certain different places, whatever. And then you put all of those groups of people together. And what would you expect would happen other than some guy brings a knife to the event and then tries to stab people? So this is pretty sad that this happened. I'm extremely worried about being alive and one day being stabbed by some deranged guy. You know what I mean?
Where's the police? I know, unbelievable. I don't know.
And there's the guy that they captured with the knife. And security takes him away. Ooh, that looks like some pretty tough security there. I don't know what. Never saw that security, but I guess they need that kind of security at the multicultural Heritage Days in Edmonton. Go figure.
Get her in here now!
Oh, you can hear the Palestinians chanting in the background. They're not kidding when they said that. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what you think about that. That's just a story, one of the stories that happened today. And I of course I'm reporting on local news. This is just local news, right? We haven't even got to world news yet, right? This is Edmonton here in Canada, Canadian local news here. We haven't even got to the stuff. You guys in the States are like, if this is bad, down there it's like 10 times worse, There's probably they would have brought a gun to the event, never mind a knife. But there aren't that many handguns around, except the criminals. They're the ones that control most of the handguns out there, the ones that are brought in from the United States, that cause all the crime in Canada. But apparently they're hard to get to unless a member of a biker gang or something like that. Oh, nothing against bikers, because I'm wearing a biker t-shirt here today. Not that the only bike that I actually own is a electric bike, because my mother, when I was younger, this is a story. Okay, we'll get into my youth here now. My mother would not allow us, children, to own or ride a motorcycle. Okay, she just forbid it because she saw that so many people were getting in accidents and they were dying and getting maimed and whatever and stuff like that. That she just said, you know what? No motorcycles. So that kind of carried on to when I was able to actually own a motorcycle myself. That I never actually bought one until finally they came out with e-bikes. And I thought, oh wow, that's not a motorcycle. And but you can kill somebody with an e-bike, and you can be killed on an e-bike by a car hitting you or something like that. So yeah, and lots of times cars have cut in front of me. So you have to be, in this day and age, you have to be super, super, super aware of everybody around you, what other vehicles there are, what's coming in on a side street, and expect that they're not going to see you. And, start braking before you get anywhere close to them, because there have been so many times where if I would have just been zooming down the street and not putting the brakes on when I perceive that something bad is going to happen, that something bad would have actually happened. almost every time I go out, there's some guy in a car that's not aware of the bike around him. You know what I mean? Because you're small. And I know what it's like driving a car too. Is that you're concentrating on driving, man, and you're chewing your gum and you're listening to the radio or iTunes or whatever, and you're not paying attention to whatever the hell is going on. And bikers are vulnerable. So if you're out there riding a bike on those bike lanes that are increasing all the time, they're putting bike lanes all over the place because that's the left's agenda to make sure that there's not as many cars on the roads. That's when they talk about net zero, yeah, it's like zero cars, right? Zero cars. Everybody riding some kind of a bicycle or something like that. That's what the deal is there. Hey, we got Grow 90 in there. We've got our good friend Old Goat in there. Hey, let me just see here. What can we do? I think I can do something here. Once in a while, I do something nice in the chat. Let's see. Where did Old Goat go? Pretty sure I saw him in there. We got Edward Cam in there. Edward Cam, are you being a good person today? Yeah. Imagine calling to report someone for name calling or an offensive joke. I know, but the police are now advertising that you should do that. That's the point. The whole world has gotten to be ridiculous. That's the story. The story is that it doesn't matter what you say or do these days. You can hardly say anything because if you tell a joke about a certain identifiable group, well, you could be thrown in jail. How's that going to affect people that are comedians? Like Bankus. I don't know if you've ever heard any of his material, but he's particularly. Telling jokes that would be offensive to different identifiable groups, you know what I mean? So he's not going to be able to tell stories like that. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is the world is changing is what it all boils down to. The world is changing, and we live in a different Edmonilia. Yeah, we live in a different world here where. We have to watch. Ever hear your teacher say, "You better watch your P and Qs"? Well, we're now living in that dystopia of an environment here where we have to watch our P's and Q's. Go and get yourself an e-bike, an e-scooter, whatever. Hey, but I will give you this tip. Do not buy an e-scooter. Do not ride an e-scooter. You will kill yourself. They're the most deadly things out there. That's got a little front wheel, and there are lots of potholes, put it that way, and you fly over the handlebars on that thing. So don't buy an e-scooter. Don't ride an e-scooter. That would be my absolute advice to you. Stay completely away. Lion Roars... he borrowed my e-scooter once. I had an e-scooter, and he says, "Oh, let me try it." I'm thinking, I hate it when I lend my stuff out. I hate it because it always comes back broken. Well, he got on Lion Roars, who's sometimes in the chat there. He got on my e-scooter, and he rode it for about 50 feet before he crashed. Okay, no more than 50 feet. And when he crashed, I think that he learned a good lesson, which is to never, ever, 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 ever ride an e-scooter. Of course, my e-scooter was like a 1,000-watt motor on the front, 1,000-watt motor on the back. And pretty good pickup, like way better pickup than a car, like that thing is like you do the thumb throttle on the thing and you're like down the road, Yeah, well, anyways, he didn't realize that it had that much pickup, and I guess I should have started him off on level 1 instead of level 3, but it didn't work out well for my good friend there. So anyways, that was probably the last time he's going to ride an e-scooter, and he probably learned a good lesson there, which is don't ride an e-scooter, And I see these people riding around on those freaking things, and they're like, wobbly as hell, like the first time they tried it, whatever. You got little kids that are like 6 years old riding those freaking things. And one thing about them is you got to have both hands on the handlebar. Okay, if you take one hand off of the handlebar, it starts going wonky on you, like, you know, and then you crash, you know. And there's so many people that, you know, you see them, you know, with these rental ones, you know, where they pull their cell phone out and they're trying to hold on with one hand and they got the cell phone in the other, and the thing is going wonky like this all the way down the road. And I'm laughing, going, yeah, these people are pretty stupid, you know. Yeah, they don't understand the. And also, they end up in the hospital. You know, they clog up the hospital with people with broken bones, injuries, and you know, lacerations, cuts, and you name it. And yeah, it's I guess it's hard on the healthcare industry because those emergency rooms are filled up people with e-scooter. You know, injuries, and those bikes and e-scooters, they've got, you know, like batteries in them that come from our good country, our trading country, China. And those batteries are exploding all over the place. People are charging them up. They bring them into, like, there was a story I was watching, I think it was in Vancouver, where the fire chief gave a complete thing on them, saying, don't buy those e-scooters, don't bring them into your houses, don't bring them into high-rise apartment buildings. And they showed a complete burned-out apartment on the side of a high-rise building where the guy had, you know, an e-scooter in there. And there are people that have more than one e-scooter, which is even worse yet, because if anything does happen and one of them explodes, starts on fire, then it's like a massive thing. And the fire department is leery about going in now to even fires, because there could be something like it's like a time bomb waiting to happen, where a normal room flashes over in, like, I don't know, a matter of like 15 to 20 minutes or something. When you have an e-scooter in a fire, and the fire gets at the e-scooter, or the fire is started by an e-scooter, you have a flashover that happens in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, so much flame, so much smoke. First you have smoke oozing from the whole freaking thing until you've got so much smoke that it catches on fire. And yeah, the fire department is like leery to send their guys in to tackle fires. And, you know, there's so many people with electronic devices, especially, you know, battery bicycles and scooters, because they have a fair amount of energy in them. Yeah, that it's actually pretty bad what's going on. So, yeah, there's a lot of negativity to that kind of stuff. And now the fire departments are trying to get the government to certify the batteries that are coming into Canada, because they think that the batteries are defective, they're nefarious, they're not certified. Well, they use the term certified. So they want the government to certify e-bike batteries, which of course are going to be that you're going to have to pay more for those e-bikes, because not all batteries are going to be certified. You know, like vast, that stuff that you can buy on online on Amazon and stuff like that. Well, not so much Amazon, but some of the Chinese sites where you can buy stuff. Yeah, you know, and then they're going to start putting false labels on this stuff so that you think that it's certified and that actually isn't. So yeah, pretty bad situation. Let's see. Oh, we got this story coming in here from Tirana. What's the deal there? Toronto police have released a video showing a retail theft gang. Oh, we've got theft gangs happening now. Attacking customers, pepper spraying people who attempt to intervene, and 546 arrests, and laid 4,000 charges. Welcome to 2026, Canada. Yeah, so you can see the people here in this video that are robbing, looks like maybe a liquor store, Ontario Liquor Control Board store, probably. I know that they're doing a lot of that stuff there. Yeah, you can see who that guy is there that's robbing and whatever. And there are some people that are trying to fight back. Like I said, look at that. A big box of merchandise going out of the store there. Everyone's clutching stuff, bottles of booze. Apparently, people that are doing these crimes like alcohol. Who knew? they like to party it up a little bit, you know. And hey, when you need a little extra booze for your party, wow, they must have some pretty big parties there too. Should be pretty easy to find where they're at, because you just find out where the big party is in the neighborhood, you know. E-bike completely banned on Mechanic Island due to a dozen fires. Oh, wow. Really? Wow. That's interesting. Let them all take the Crown Royal, since Doug Ford says pour it out. Hey, that's Canadian booze too. You know, it's brewed in Manitoba, isn't it? And Doug Ford, like Doug Ford, he must have a bunch of morons that are, you know, advising him on what things that he should talk about, you know. Like, honestly, like he's unaware of what he's talking about himself. We all know that, but he's got to have some people around him that, you know, before he goes in front of a microphone, at least say, hey, Doug, yeah, talk about this, or Doug, don't talk about that, you know, or Doug, did you know that Crown Royal is actually a Canadian product? And yeah, sure, they're shutting down a bottling plant in Canada, you know, or whatever, but they're still, the stuff is still manufactured in Canada, you know. But you know, he doesn't look into what he's doing there. It's like, and he comes out and bashes Trump and stuff like that. Not good for trade relations in Canada. But anyways, they're stealing the booze. They're doing that in Alberta here too. There's rings of people that do that here too. It's incredible that these things happen. Oh, what's my next one here? Oh, you know, it's the religion. It's the story about the religion of peace. And yeah, I'll play this one here. I'll just play it. I'm not going to comment on it, but this is just something that I see on the internet. And yeah, is this true, or is this a bunch of hooey? Okay. Islam is a religion of peace. Lie debunked in 57 seconds. Okay, in 57 seconds. What do you think of this? Let's comment on this.
If Islam is the religion of peace, they have a very odd way of showing it. The Nice, France attack, radical Muslim. 2017 Paris attacks, radical Muslim. Reason TSA checks your shoes in airports, radical Muslim. Underwear bomber, Muslim. New Orleans ISIS truck attack, Muslim. The Westminster attack, Boston Marathon bombing, Manchester Arena bombing, Pan Am bombing, Fort Hood shooting, Beltway sniper attacks, the Bali bombing, mortar of Lee Rigby, the USS Cole bombing, London Bridge attack, Madrid train bombers, the Charlie Hebdo massacre, San Bernardino massacre, US Beirut, Marine bombing, Little Rock Army shooting, Chattanooga military attack, Pulse nightclub massacre, New York City ISIS truck attack, Boulder, Colorado firebombing attack, the DC shooting, both times, all committed by Muslims. There have been more than 68,000 Islamic terrorist attacks in almost every single country on planet Earth since 9/11 alone. Christians chanting Christ is King, they're not going to blow you up. Jews chanting Baruch Hashem, they're not going to blow you up. A Muslim on the subway chanting Allahu Akbar, you better be sure that you are the first one to leave the subway before it's blown up. Radical Islam is a real present danger to Western civilization.
Yeah, okay. But, well, I don't have, like I said, I'm not going to comment on that, but I'm just playing a story, and you can digest that, okay, and think about what's happening. Okay, oh, hang on here. Here's another little clip. This is an actual picture of the guy here. Let's see if I can do this better here. Bring this in here. Here's a better shot of the guy that had the knife, the Somalian guy in Edmonton. He's the guy that had the knife, and he tried to kill some Jewish people there at Heritage Days in Edmonton. And this is, yeah, another better shot of who that guy actually was. So, yeah, not great. You know, it's not making Somalia look like a great country when we immigrate people like this into Canada, and then they end up grabbing a knife and trying to do away with somebody in the new country that you're in. It's just not good. Not good. That's in Edmonton, little old Edmonton. We're not talking about New York or, you know, some big Toronto or some city like that. It's little old Edmonton here in the middle of nowhere, and we've got this racial tension and people trying to kill each other here in Edmonton. It's pathetic that this stuff is happening. I shouldn't even have to talk about stuff like this. Never mind do a report on it. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, we've got this thing happening, which is an independence rally It just was announced right here. We'll bring this graphic up here. Just announced, we've got an Alberta independence rally. Now, the vote for independence, and I didn't make a mistake saying that, the vote for independence is happening on October the 19th, okay? But this rally is happening on October the 17th, okay? October the 17th. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what that message is there. Got a message popping up on my phone here, so just let me make sure it's not too much of a priority here. August 26th, yeah. Special, that's coming up. Yeah, so we have this rally, the Independence Rally happening, and this is a big one because this is happening at the Alberta legislature. And then last time that there was a rally there, there was reportedly, whether this is that number or not, 12,000 people there, which is an awful lot of people. And I would expect that there's going to be more than that number appearing there, or around that number, you would think, because it is the number one primo spot in the province where people are going to rally for Alberta independence. So this is actually going to be happening here, Alberta Independence Rally. And this is what it looked like. I was there the last time that there was a rally. I did a live video. I could actually go back in my archive and bring up that video and play it for you. But it did look exactly like you're seeing in this AI depiction, where, well, not exactly, the flags weren't as lined up. The flags are more random, and definitely there were more flags and stuff like that there. Oh, hang on, stand by. Phone call coming in here. Hang on. Yeah, okay, there we go. We're back again. Sorry about that. Once in a while I get interrupted by a phone call, and sometimes they might be important. So I don't get that many phone calls, so we don't like to be interrupted that often, but once in a while I do. But anyways, October the 17th, which is actually 2 days before the vote, there's going to be one hell of a big independence rally at the Alberta legislature, and you can bet that I will be at this rally, okay? You can bet that I'll be there. Saturday, October the 17th, Albertans will gather at the legislature to make something clear. Our future belongs in our hands. Join Tanya Clemens and I. This is Keith Wilson is where this comes from. They will be at the Independence Rally event authorized by Let Alberta Decide, which is his third-party advertising group, Let Alberta Decide. That is, you can donate money to them for lawn signs and stuff like that. I have a lawn sign, outside of my place. Yeah, try and get it. I've got cameras all over the place. You better have your face covered if you want my sign. And these signs are getting stolen. I've seen here in Sylvan Lake, because I live in Sylvan Lake here, where there are people that have put signs up outside on, especially the people on the main boulevards, the main streets where there's a lot of car traffic, where they put signs up there, and they're getting them stolen. There's actually lots of the signs are getting stolen. Imagine that. I wonder what people from what group might be stealing Alberta independence signs, the blue signs, that say Alberta independence on them. One guy, he even tie wrapped, I saw where he had a sign tie wrapped with about 6 tie wraps along the edge of the sign to a post, right? A post. And somebody pulled that sign off and ripped it away from the post and stole it, So the guy and the reason that he had a tie wrap to the post, because normally they're just, with metal rods that stick in the ground, right? So you can easily just grab it and take it with you. But he had them stolen already. And there's his neighbor that has put up a sign that says, "Stop stealing my signs," right? It's a big, not a normal size sign, but with big letters on it. "Stop stealing my signs." He actually has a sign that says that. Like, that's how bad it has gotten here in Sylvan Lake with people stealing people's signs. You have, it's like, what's going to happen next? Are people going to be out on the streets punching each other and getting into fights and grabbing their cell phones and when you try and record what's going on when somebody's trying to attack you? Are we going to see stuff like that going on? Yes, we are. Yes, it has gotten to that point. It absolutely has gotten to that point that we're seeing aggression, we're seeing fighting, and you know who the fighting and you know where the aggression is happening from? Is it the peaceful people that want independence, or is it the lefties that are like pro-Canada, anti-independence, and like, oh my God, they're gonna get rid of my pension, oh my God. And we've heard that enough already. When Alberta independence happens, nothing bad will happen with your pension. You'll still have a pension. Little old ladies out there, you will still have a pension, because the pension plan will the money in your pension will just plain roll over into Alberta, and you will be getting a check, okay? Or it will just stay the way it is, and the money that you're owed until the day you die will come from that Canadian pension plan. One way or another, it will be looked after, okay? Precisely what will happen, I can't say. But the money is not going to just instantly disappear in your pension. So don't worry about that, okay? There you go. It was announced by the RCMP. It was organized and paid crime. They have to video themselves doing it in order to get paid. Yeah, not sure which story that one is about there, Brett. But anyways, that story about what happened. And we've got Alberta independence, which is a big thing on the agenda here right now. Let's see what Donald Trump has to say about Canada. Oh, yeah, this should be epic, because whenever Donald Trump has something to say about Canada, it is usually not great. So, I don't know. Let's just listen to what he has to say here. The President of the United States.
Because we've been screwed by tariffs used against us for years by China, by Japan, by South Korea, by Germany, by everybody, by Canada. Canada's nasty. They are. They're nasty. People think Canada, they're nasty. I love the people, but they're nasty. Nasty leadership. And Mexico, they all did it to us. But because we've been...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Those nasty, he doesn't think that I'm nasty. He doesn't. Where's my Trump? They're nasty. They're all nasty. Those politicians are so nasty. They're just nasty, those politicians, especially those Canadian ones, because those Canadian ones are the worst of the worst of the worst. They're just right down there at the bottom of the barrel. Especially that Connie. Yeah, that Mark Carney, he's the nastiest of the nastiest there. He doesn't even want to talk to us anymore. What the hell's the matter with that guy? Is he afraid of me? He must be afraid of me. He's just a little peon. Oh, I better be careful what I say, because Mark Carney will be coming at me with that hate speech law. Oh,
fuck all the fucking way off.
I know. I agree there, Brett. That's what the problem is with society out there. Yeah, they're not going all the way. They have to go all the way. What about this guy? Greg Wycliffe. I don't know what's going on with this whole thing, but I'm going to play this clip here just because it's like weird. Hang on a second. Let me just get it into frame here so it's a little bit better. What is this all about here, though? I don't know. I'm going to play the whole thing. You figure it out. What's he talking about? Is he addresses the rumors? Anyways, Greg Wycliffe addresses the rumors. Not sure what the rumors are, but you figure it out.
By now, some of you may have seen this old clip where I'm singing and acting very gay. Canadians, tax them. Sorry, that's the wrong clip. Wrong clip.
I'll wipe the Constitution with my eye.
That's not the right clip either.
The World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab penetrated me.
It's here somewhere.
Trust the experts. Cause global warming didn't stick, so here's some 16-year-old with braids.
I've done this a number of times, haven't I?
I'd like to make myself believe.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, sometimes I can get a little bit theatrical when I'm communicating my message or entertaining an audience. It's important to know your audience. But some people saw this particular clip before I joined politics and they said, well, I would never do something like this. Yeah, well, you probably also wouldn't do something like interviewing hundreds of people at the trucker convoy wearing a onesie. You probably wouldn't do that. You probably wouldn't make inflammatory songs about government overreach and the various hate speech laws that they try to pass.
Ooh.
And you probably wouldn't run for the People's Party of Canada in 2019,
PPC.
opposing immigration and,
Right.
pushing other taboo topics that were very unpopular at the time. You probably wouldn't do that either. You also probably wouldn't help launch and promote with your platform a organization that is celebrating and championing Canadian identity and also normalizing remigration as policies that the Canadian public and the Ottawa bubble should take seriously. There's a lot of things that the average Canadian would not do to put themselves out there. Because, not everyone has the skills, not everyone has the time or the balls to do so. But because Dominion Society has been so successful, they are digging into my trash bin of my history. Only dogs play in the trash, but they're finding things to try and attack the Dominion Society. And because we are still only just into our second year, I thought it was best for me to resign so they have as little to work with as possible. The Dominion Society has a very long, bright future ahead. It's in very good hands. It will not matter that I will be, stepping down. It will not make a big difference. This is just a sign of how threatened they are by the Dominion Society and the ideas that they're pushing. One last thing, if you are somebody who uncritically supports the Conservative Party, or God forbid, shills for this Conservative Party uncritically, a party that does not at all criticize or oppose replacement migration whatsoever. Yeah, shilling for that party in 2026, that's actually much gayer than anything that I've ever done. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching and we will talk to you soon.
Ooh. Oh, okay. I'll have to preface that. I don't follow Wycliffe, so I'm not aware of his background. So Brett is more in the know of who he is, what he is, and what he's talking about. But you're saying that I'm promoting Diagolon now. No, I'm not promoting Diagolon. I'm just simply putting up a little clip there with some of the guy's background there, where he was saying that people are perceiving him as being gay, probably because he did bits on there that made him look gay, whatever. But he has his own agenda, whatever. So take it or leave it. That's Greg Wycliffe is what that's all about. He was just addressing some of the rumors about him, whatever. That came into my feed. I didn't go out looking for it. And why it's there, I don't know. Hard to say. Okay, but anyways, we have a big increase in crime in Canada. We know that much. And here's a report on excess crime, where whatever. And I'm not sure why crime is up so much, but crime is absolutely up. Imagine this, that crime is up 8,800%, right? Crime is up. Well, this is in particular committed by Indian study permit holders. Okay, imagine an increase of 8,800% in crime committed by Indian study permit holders. Okay, not making this up, and imagine weak Canadian immigration laws being used by ruthless Indian gangs to import their members into Canada. Well, this is what a classified intel report by the CBSA revealed today. Okay, it's not me just talking about this, but yeah, let's listen to this story about that, which is pretty telling. You know, like what the hell's happening here in Canada? We're in kind of what we might classify as big trouble. Big trouble by what we're doing here. And you guys see that. I've, posted those stories about, East Indian students and how they want to remain in Canada and stuff like that. But there's also the stories about gangs recruiting these people and bringing them into the gangs and doing a lot of crime here in Canada.
What the fuck, Canada? This is massive news and something that you, me, and every normal Canadian has known now for a while, but we're gaslit into oblivion. A classified intelligence report from Canada's border services revealed that a ruthless Indian criminal organization has been using the student visa program in order to import their members in Canada. We're talking about the Bishnoi Gang, an organization that is famous for sending a letter to Canadian police warning them that they had over 1,000 gunmen in the country willing to fight them. But some of the stats found in the report are damn right mind-blowing. Crimes by Indian student permit holders soared 8,800% between 2016 and 2024. Between 2019 and 2023, 4,000 Indian citizens who entered Canada on study permits were charged with 17,929 offenses. That's over 4 offenses per Indian student. But the most shocking, a third of charges, or 4,920 of them, were considered serious or organized crime related, while 97% of those offenses were deemed violent. And any Canadian who doesn't have his head in the sand has known that for a while, because videos like these have been circulating. Like this dude with a shotgun shooting at homes in Ontario. Or Sing Bond over here with a Type 81 rifle, looks like an AK-47, but it isn't, shooting at God knows what. Or this dirtbag with a pistol shooting at a home in the middle of the night. And this has only been happening for the last 10 years since the Liberals have opened the floodgates to people from certain regions of the world. We don't have to live this way. We can say no, and we should close our border and vet every single person that comes in, even the students.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Canada? This is massive news.
Exactly. And why do you think guys like me are saying, we got to get out of this madness? You know, it is coming to haunt us. Like, we're seeing stuff happening in little old Edmonton. We're seeing it happening in Calgary, in Vancouver, in Toronto, in all of the cities where all of these people have ended up. The crime rates are soaring up. They're on the upward trend, okay? Because of the idiocy of the federal government is really all you can say. You know, I'm not even going to argue about it. You know, there's all people out there like, oh no, that's not, you know, you're lying, you're not, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just, racist, you know, and stuff like that. You know, like, you people, you've got your head up your arse because you're not looking at reality, not seeing what's going on. That in itself tells you exactly what's going on. Do you think that what he's talking about, there's a report by the Canadian government, the CBSA came out with a classified intel report giving stats on exactly what's going on. You can't deny that, you know, and it's like Cadamus Rex is going to say, oh, those poor Indians, I should invite them over for lunch, you know. They're such nice people. Those poor students, you know, they're just like anybody else, and I should invite them for lunch. No, they're not. They're doing all the crime in the country. 4 crimes. Holy jeez. Did you hear those numbers that he was reporting there? Absolutely mind-blowing. And we need to stop this stuff here already. Like, come on. We need to get rid of the Liberals that are ruining the entire country, or better yet, Alberta independence. And if you want to be part of the independence movement and a better life, and you're sick and tired of what's going on in Canada, come on over to Alberta. Come on over here. We don't mind you moving in here and getting a job and whatever, and working and pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, and not sending a lot of your income as taxes to Ottawa, and not living in a province where you have to pay a provincial tax. You don't want that. East Coaster, come on over here to Alberta. Why do you think people come here? Why do you think all the newfies come to Alberta to work, right? Because there's jobs here, right? And then what do? Then they jet home there and spend a bunch of money on their house over in on the Rock or whatever. But, you know, people come here because there's jobs, there's opportunity. If you want to start up a business, you're probably more likely to succeed here in Alberta than you are in other provinces where you have, you know, like massive taxes and stuff like that. You have like NDP governments, they're not good for any business. They're anti-business. They're anti-commercial. They want to shut stuff down. They want to open up supermarkets like in New York. I want to see what's going to be happening with those supermarkets run by the government in New York. Like that's Marxism, communism, socialism to the max, and it doesn't work. Everybody knows it doesn't work, but yet they're going to do it. They're going to have like 3 supermarkets for the entire of New York, and all the rest of the little ones on the street corners and that are going to shut down, and people are going to be basically buying the stuff for cheap at the supermarket and then selling it to vendor outlets out on the streets. You're going to see that kind of stuff happening, and you're going to see people basically not able to go and get food, and people starving. Like, it's going to be a bad situation in New York. Honestly, it's terrible. Betty, good to see you. I just got a CCP. Do you think elder single women should carry? I think everyone should carry a handgun. Honestly, there's so much crime out there, so many criminals out there. There's so many nefarious people. There's so many people wanting to attack you. There's so many people that have come in this country that wouldn't think twice about attacking you and knifing you. Honestly, we saw it at the with what I showed you here today, right? You can't even go to a little heritage festival without some guy showing up with a knife trying to knife people. Like, it's unbelievable. And then we've got another story about people just plain dumping garbage here in Canada. Like, shame on these people. Mission, British Columbia. Drywall crew backed their dump truck bed through a locked gate and onto private property where they illegally dumped a load of scrap drywall. These people need to be found and fined to the fullest extent of the law, regardless of who they are or what they are. People shouldn't be dumping their garbage in public. We got to stop doing this already. Stop it. Just dump it. Dump it. Dump that garbage, yeah, but not on somebody else's property. Go to the dump. They're just, they want to save a few bucks by not going to the dump, or they don't want to drive there or whatever. Yeah, and then you got these guys here. They're on a hunger strike in where is this here? I don't know where this is. It could be Edmonton or Calgary here.
ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ 'ਚ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੋਗਦਾਨ ਪਾਓਗੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਮਿੰਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀਮਤੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੀ ਆ ਕੱਲ ਦਾ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵਾਇਰਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਅਪੀਲ ਕਰਦਾ IRCC ਤੱਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਈਏ ਜੀ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ। ਆ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੜੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਉਰੇ। ਮੁੰਡੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਹੱਕ ਨਾ ਮਿਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੁੱਖ ਹੜਤਾਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜੀ ਉਰੇ। ਮੋਰਚੇ ਤੇ ਡਟੇ ਰਵਾਂਗੇ। ਬਸ ਲੋੜ ਆ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਥ ਦੀ।
Under a student visa, and their visa has expired, and they're pissed off that their visa has expired, and they expected to become a Canadian citizen after their student visa expired, and the Canadian government has said, no, you're not going to become a Canadian citizen. You have to go back to your country now that your student visa has expired and you've gone to school and you've learned what you need to learn. Now it's time to just go back to your country, And the liberals are going, oh, no, they should stay in Canada. Why can't they stay in Canada? Well, because there's laws, and if you're on a visa, you have to, just like me. If I was on a visa to go to France, okay, and to go to school in France, and at the end of my visa, right, it expired, would I expect to become a French citizen? Of course not. Because I wasn't there to become a French citizen. I was there on a student visa, and my student visa expires. Well, then you go back to your home country. Why the hell are they staying in Canada? Now they're an illegal alien, right? They're not a citizen. They're a citizen, obviously, of India or someplace like that. And they need to go back to their country and not go on a hunger strike. Like, this is, if you support this, well, then you can't be like a real bona fide Canadian that wants to have a nation with borders that have a certain amount of closure to them, and you just don't walk across the border and become a Canadian. You have to apply for citizenship. That's how it works. You need to go back to your home country where you came from before the student visa and apply there. That's all there is to it. Don't be a liberal Karen about something like that. Like, honestly, enough is enough. What about values? What about Canadians? What about Albertans here? Let's have somebody talk about Alberta independence here for a minute, just to break it down here. We have our good friend. This is coming into us from Free Alberta. Joshua Ranger has this to say.
The people of Alberta are beautiful people. I think Albertans in general are some of the most kind, compassionate, and just
I would agree.
Actually people that actually
very nice.
They seem to be different than other Canadians, and that's because Albertans in general are different.
Yep.
We believe in hard work. We believe in trying to build a future for our kids. We believe in trying to do our best for the future generation.
That's right.
And this is the difference between Ottawa and between other Canadians and Albertans. Albertans, I think, are just different. I believe we're more like Americans. I believe we have a
culture
mindset.
Here.
Of course, not
nice.
everything is the same, but I do believe we are more closely oriented with American beliefs than we are other Canadian beliefs. And this is why the October 19th referendum is such an important part, because basically we're deciding, do we want to value the Canadians' belief that other Canadians are moving to from other provinces to Alberta, or do we want to value Albertans' belief? Do we want to put Canadians' values first, or do we want to put Albertans' values first? Because if we continue to do what we're doing, if we continue to put Canadians' values first, Alberta will suffer, and it'll be more challenging. It'll be more harder to raise a family. Obviously, you know how expensive it is here. You know how high the taxes are. Do we want to continue to go down that route? For me, definitely not. For me, I will be voting for Alberta independence, because I know that it's the only potential way for us to save what's left of Canada. And there's a lot of things that are broken and we can keep trying to fix, but they're not going to be fixed if we stay in Canada at this rate. We're losing more freedoms every day. Things are getting more expensive. Homes are getting more expensive. Groceries are getting more expensive. They haven't gone down since the pandemic. They've only gone up.
Yeah.
So the only real option for a future, for our generation, is to vote option 2. Because like I said, if you vote option 1, things will remain the same and only continue to go down and get worse. But if you vote option 2 for Alberta independence, things will get better, things will get stronger, things will only become better for Albertans. And that's what we want. We want our generation to have a future. We want our generation.
And that's only half of his spiel. So he goes on for quite a while. But, he outlines a lot of the things wrong with Canada and the way people actually feel in Alberta. And Robert Sinclair, he says, I hope Alberta separation falls flat on its face like the Quebec separation from years ago. It might, it won't falls flat on its face, because we already know that 300,000 people are going to vote for independence. We know that. And just to give you the numbers, on a really, really good turnout, okay, and you're talking from 5 million people that live in Alberta, approximately, the actual people that vote on a really good turnout is 1.5 million people. Okay. So we know that 300,000 people were not scared enough to sign the petition, right? 300,000. That's a pretty big number, but that's not even of 1.5 million. Okay, you need 500,000 people to be about 1/3 of the people that actually vote. Okay, so we might only be like 1/3. You never know. We're not going to know for sure because people don't answer their phones when a poll happens. You can't rely on any polls. Polls done on the internet. You could have polls on a left site that are going to stay in Canada. You could have polls on a independent site that are all going to be like, if I did a poll right now for myself or on my own like group and then shared it out to a bunch of other groups, inevitably it would be over 50% would want independence, right? Because a lot of people that surround me and subscribe to me on Facebook or follow me on Facebook are probably like-minded people. That's how it works. But only a vote will tell. Only a vote will tell. And you know what? My own thinking is that if Alberta does not become independent, we are at bare minimum doing what Quebec did, which is tell Ottawa that we're not happy, because ultimately the reason for this independence is pretty clear to me. The people that I talk to about why they want independence is because they're not happy with living within Canada. That's the gist of it. We're not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with so much of our money going to Ottawa. I would like to see it remain in Alberta so that we can pull ourselves by our bootstraps and live a better life over here. Instead of, I had an argument last night with a liberal person, right? And we were talking for a long time, for a couple of hours. And, all of his things that he doesn't like are exactly why Alberta wants independence, right? He doesn't like the fact there's not enough money for healthcare in Alberta. He lives in Alberta. And, he says, well, there's not enough money for, and he blame, they of course blame it on the Alberta government, saying there's not enough money. Well, you know what? The Alberta government operates at a deficit. They spend more than what they bring in, right? So because of the fact that we are taxed so heavily in Alberta, and that money, instead of staying in Alberta, ends up being siphoned off by the federal government and sent to so-called have-not provinces like Ontario and Quebec. You guys have heard that over and over and over again, right? And Albertans actually voted. We actually had a vote to eliminate sending that money for equalization payments and just getting right out of the equalization scheme thing altogether and keeping that money within Alberta, right? But the federal government does not want to do that, That's part of the problem, is that we're dealing with a federal government that doesn't want to listen to us here in Alberta and wants to do whatever the hell they want to do, right? And we can even prove that by the Prime Minister of Canada, because he came out with this statement when he was point blank asked about equalization and whether he, Mark Carney, in the federal government is going to do anything, right? In Scarborough today, I asked Prime Minister Mark Carney, not me, but Geoff Knight writes this, whether he supports any specific reforms to the equalization formula, as Alberta Premier Danielle Smith has called for, including ending the GDP growth escalator, or is it simply status quo and they're going to leave it the way it is and just keep ripping off Alberta until another review sometime in the future in 2029 that's going to happen. Let's listen to what Mark Carney has to say.
Hello, Mr. Prime Minister. Jeff Knight with Western Standard. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith has called for concrete reforms to the equalization formula, including ending the GDP growth escalator. You've said before the formula will be reviewed before the 2029 renewal, but have you actually supported any specific changes, or is it your position simply to support the status quo until then?
Well, we're not going to, we have an equalization agreement in place. Governments rely on those formula in setting their policies. And so that predictability and that financing is valuable. And yes, we're going to keep it in place. The review is for 2029 is the next update.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. He's not going to do anything. Albertans are saying that they want separation because we're sick and tired of this scammy equalization program where it benefits Ottawa and hurts Alberta. And we want out of that equalization program. We voted on it years ago. I don't know what the year was on it, but not just recently, but years ago. And everybody in Ottawa is a liberal, and they love sucking money out of Alberta. And like he just said, they're going to leave it. They're going to leave it just the way it is.
But let me bring it back down to where we are today, which is fundamental principles in Canada. And a fundamental principle that drives this country, many Canadians in their personal lives, but also in the government, is that Canadians should have access to comparable services, all Canadians. Health care services, education, all have access to the same education. Part of where the challenge comes in and what we're tackling today is access to housing, as the mayor said a moment ago, the ability to live near to where you work, to not have to move if you're having a child or your child's in school and you have another child and have them move. So that's not the level of equalization, but it's the responsibility to use all our levers, and that's what we're seeing here in an aspect of the housing market. So all Canadians have that opportunity.
That wasn't even what the question was. So he basically just skirts around it saying, we're just going to leave it as it is. And then let's talk about housing and a bunch of other stuff there and whatever, who knows what. But that's typical politician that doesn't want to justify whatever it is that he's talking about, whatever his answer is. But the basis of his answer is that he doesn't want to do anything. He's not going to do anything about the equalization payments. The money is being sucked out of Alberta, and that's why Albertans want out of Canada. That is the big part of the whole thing. And that's by Mark Carney that he's not going to do anything about that. On the topic of Mark Carney, and I don't know if you know this story. There's a story about the Canadian spy, this Oriental-looking girl, Chinese, I think, Canadian. Carney got asked questions regarding the Canadian spy who was caught in Belgium. Okay, and just look at Carney's body language. Listen to his answer carefully. Why did he feel the need to say Canadian officials have been involved from the start, and then say draw your own conclusions from that? I think they are purposely being left in the dark regarding this investigation. So this Canadian lady was arrested for being a spy in Belgium, and she's a Canadian, right? And she's pretty low level. So they're saying, oh, don't worry, she's in the government, but she's at the pretty low level, and she probably doesn't know a whole bunch of stuff that would hurt Canada, if there was who knows what happened. So whatever, the government is downplaying the whole thing, basically saying, no big deal. She was not high up, but she probably had aspirations of gaining rank in government and then doing the dastardly deed that spies usually do.
Dernière question, last question.
Hi, Prime Minister Carney. I want to ask about the spying charges in Belgium. Have you explained to the authorities in Belgium and NATO allies about how the government, proceeds and meets the security risk? That is my first question. And I think, do you think these security screening process for the international staffer need to be reformed? Can you explain?
Well, the first thing is anytime you have a situation you should take stock and take lessons from this. The second thing is, look, it's an active investigation, so I'm limited in what I can say. The only thing I would add cryptically is that the Canadian officials have been involved from the start. Draw your own conclusions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That concludes our press. Dernière question, last question.
What's that? Canadian officials have been involved from the start, and you can draw your own conclusions. And because there's an ongoing investigation. You can't talk about it, so it's the typical gobbledygook, on the whole thing. Robert says, who doesn't like Alberta independence, says, who watches CBC television, says CBC did a good story on that lady. What, exposing her? That would be interesting if CBC did that. I might have seen a clip. I did see a clip where, mainstream was talking about the whole thing. And, of course, they're not too happy on something like that happening. But, who is she spying for? Is she spying for the Chinese government? Is she like a Chinese spy? I would think so. She appears to be, Oriental in nature. Got to be careful what I say, of course, but, yeah, on that hate crime, I'm going to play this one again. This is what Danielle Smith has to say about the hate speech and the hate speech laws in Alberta. So we might be safe over here in Alberta. If we say something that's like, oops, I shouldn't have said that, yeah, we've got a premier here that's kind of sticking up for us Albertans here. So, yeah, I kind of like this part of Premier Danielle Smith. Actually, overall, I like Danielle Smith. A lot of other people that are in independence and that, or independent supporters, have a real hate. I'm almost choking here. Hate on for Danielle Smith, but not so much myself. I like a lot of the stuff that she does. And, she can only do so much as far as independence as well, based on where we are with the fact that we, have certain, judge rulings and stuff like that. And, you've got Elections Alberta that's there, she's trying to stay independent from Elections Alberta. But in my estimation, Elections Alberta are not doing a really good job. I don't like what they're up to there on many different fronts.
I tell you, our approach in Alberta is that the federal government
Regarding
does have
hate.
the power of criminal law.
Yeah.
We have the power of non-enforcement, and we're and what that means is we choose our policing priorities, and we choose our Crown prosecution priorities. And I can tell you, if the intention behind it is to do what we're seeing in the UK, where regular citizens are getting hauled off to prison because they post something online that hurts someone's feelings, we are just not enforcing that. There's no way that's not the culture in Alberta. We reaffirmed in our Alberta Bill of Rights that free speech is protected, and we just don't. We think that's a government overreach. The worry I have about how this may, so that's how I think private citizens should be looking at that, is just look at what's happening in other jurisdictions. And we've got to draw a line saying that we have to be able to toughen up. Like there are areas of criminal law where you legitimately cannot say things that subject another group to hatred or violence. Mm-hmm. That's a very high bar, and it should be a high bar. But hurt feelings laws, you can't police them. The worry I have about the independent media is that we're in a world now where the media is so disaggregated. We used to have a national consensus because we all used to sit and watch the 6 o'clock news, and it used to be 3 stations. And the advertising used to go to those 3 stations to be able to support good journalism. And what has happened over time is that all of the ad revenues are going to social media. And so the mainstream media is turning to government sources to be able to get the revenues that they need. And as soon as government starts funding, then government starts playing the tune. And that...
Yeah. And we've heard that many times before. So, I think that we're in a situation where maybe we're living in a pretty good province, or at least Danielle Smith is trying to come up with laws and, or bills, or maybe just a way of thinking, and, telling the police and telling the cities and the RCMP that, you know what, don't bother investigating, like minor so-called hate crime kind of things, like where somebody tells somebody else to go back where you came from or something like that, or tells an offensive joke or stuff like that, that the Edmonton City Police are saying that they want to arrest people for telling an offensive joke with an identifiable group in the joke, I guess. Thankfully we have Danielle Smith that is going to maybe push the buttons there in the province of Alberta to see that Mark Carney, I've called it before, draconian law, and a lot of his things that he's coming in with his bills are absolute oppressive, absolute draconian, absolutely putting the pressure down on everybody to just shut up. You just shut up and don't talk about it. That's what Mark Carney wants us in Canada to actually do. And a lot of people are actually fed up with stuff like that. We want to have like a little bit of free speech, live in a free world and have free speech and not be taxed to the hilt on stupid programs that they're spending money on like crazy, that are benefiting other people in other provinces and are doing absolutely nothing for us here in Alberta. But in fact, coming back over to Alberta and then saying, you guys in Alberta have to collect tax money and then spend it on collecting CO2 out of the atmosphere and pumping it into the ground. You got to spend billions of dollars on those projects. And, we're like going, no, we don't want to do that. It's sick and tired. We're sick and tired of the agendas, the net zero agendas of Mark Carney and the rest of that bullshit there. And we want out of that, absolutely out of it. So, yeah, that's just, my view on it. And a lot of other people have that same view. And that's why people want Alberta independence. It's just pretty much not rocket science. You're either part of it or you're against it. There's pick a side that you want to be on. If you want to be part of the nonsense that's going on, the net zero nonsense, the spending money on a whole bunch of crap that we don't need to be spending on, benefiting corporations, big corporations like Brookfield, which has been benefited by many, I probably didn't say it enough, different programs that Mark Carney is spending billions of dollars on. I'm not making this stuff up either. This is just follow what's going on. Follow the truth. Find some people that are online where you can see what they're talking about, where they point out everything that's going on. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. What's with this story? This here popped into my feed here where people are comparing. This is from, where is it here? The Real Canadian Superstore, where we've got the price of beef. This is rib steak, boneless beef, right, in Canada, and we're comparing the prices here, and we're apparently getting beef coming into the country here now from Australia, and the price from Australia seems to be a little bit lower than the price in Canada. Take a look at these numbers here. This is like astounding, the difference in price. And look at how much we're actually paying here in Canada. Now, I'm not sure. Let's see. This is still sold in Alberta. So I believe this price tag here comes from Alberta. So take a look at the price difference here. What do you think about this here? The one on the right is Alberta beef, right? And the one on the left is Australian, okay, for basically the same product. And keep in mind that you have the shipping costs, like really, like what is it? I don't know, 2,500 miles or something. I don't know how far it is between Australia and Canada. But you have to ship this stuff by probably boat or airplane or something. So you have those shipping costs on top of it. How the hell can you have the same cut, the same everything, the same number or weight on it, or approximately the same weight, and you've got the one from Australia at $24 and the one in Canada at $80? Like, and really, to have to pay $80 for the steak in Canada, that's like paying through the nose. Like, that's why we say that inflation has hit us so hard in here. And you know what? Who it's hit? It's hit the farmers, right? Because what do the farmers have to pay? They have to actually pay tax on a lot of the stuff that they do, right? They pay tax on the diesel fuel that they buy to do their farming, and it all flows through to the cost of the feed. It's more expensive, the cost of raising it, the cost of hiring the people to do the work, and everything gets added on to the whole price. The cost of the unions that are doing the processing, because a lot of that stuff is union type jobs, especially in places like Real Canadian Superstore. But look at the price difference. $25 compared to $80. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I wouldn't have believed this if I didn't see it myself. And a friend of mine went over to the Canadian Superstore to buy some of the Australia beef, and unfortunately, they were sold out of the Australia product. I wonder why. Look at the difference in frickin' price. It's unbelievable. Where's my frickin' blowing a gasket pill here? Like I need one at this point in time. Unbelievable. And he asked the store worker about the product, coming from Australia, and why it was so much cheaper. And the store employee couldn't answer any questions about anything other than to say, yeah, they were selling it, and yes, it was cheaper, and it seemed like there was a run on that product for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it might be the frickin' price of the thing. And if you don't believe when people are saying, well, you've got high inflation in Canada, this would be a really good example of high inflation in Canada compared to places like Australia. Like, look at how much our price of beef has gone up in price compared to the price of Australia. Unfreaking believable. Like I say, I wouldn't believe it unless I saw that particular article myself. And it was not just that article. There was another one showing a difference in price, a big difference in price. It wasn't quite as big as that because it was a smaller amount of product, but still, it was like more than double the price, right? That one there is like probably 3 times the amount, because 3 times 25 is like $75, right? That was like 80. So more than 3 times the price. Unfreaking believable. Let's see what else we can dig up here. The time is 12:01 Mountain Daylight Time. Wherever you might be, you can either add or subtract from that time to get your time difference. If you're over in the UK, it might be 7 hours difference from that, from 12 o'clock. You're like 7 hours add on to that, so you'd be like 12, so it'll be like 7 o'clock over there, right? If you're on Greenwich Mean Time or something like that. If you're over there on the East Coast, add about 3 hours on there. It's about 3 o'clock over there. Good to see you in the middle of the afternoon. You're watching the Tommy Temper Show. I'm Tommy Temper. We're coming to you from Alberta, Canada, the place that would like to be an independent country. Let's go.
In the shadow of the Rockies, where the wild winds blow, Albertans rise up.
That's right.
Tired of the status quo.
We're tired of that status quo.
Black gold, beef on the grill, so
oh yeah.
Fine. Grain fields waving gold.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate your company. Peace. Thumbs up to you.
While we shoulder the blame.
Without you, I wouldn't have a show.
No more carbon tax change. We're done with the feds, breaking free from.
Thanks a lot, Brett.
Fuck all the fucking way off.
Ringing loud and true. Sovereignty calling, independence coming through. No more woke liberalism.
It's a little windy out there, but I'm gonna jump on that golf cart and go for a ride. Have some fun.
Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our own land. Freedom for our families with a rifle in hand.
Oh yeah. Alberta freedom.
Let the anthems roll. We're building our nation.
Bum, bum, bum. Forevermore.
From the prairie to the peaks, where the eagles soar high,
Oh, yeah.
We're sick of the traitors calling us traitors, that's a lie.
Quit calling us a traitor.
Equalization's a thief.
That's right.
Stealing our hard-earned
Get rid of
pay.
equalization.
While they push their agendas, turning
Terrible
night into
agendas.
day. Beef ranchers and farmers, grain silos stand proud.
That's right.
Oil rigs turning profits under Albert's cloud.
Woo-hoo.
No more begging for ports.
We're not begging
Strong we stay.
anymore. We're sick and tired of begging.
Our future with the world in our hands.
Let's get out of the basement and go out on our own. We can do it, Alberta. Thanks a lot, everyone. Big D in there. Good to see you. Robert Sinclair, always welcome. Brett Boyle. Herman. Buck 70. We're sitting here at about Canadian. Oh, you're like a pound though. We're sitting at about $1.65 a liter here in central Alberta. Canadian. You know, if Alberta became an independent nation, we could dictate exactly what our oil price would be, just like they do in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and Iran and any of those oil-rich countries. It doesn't matter what the world price is. They dictate what they want to be at the pump, okay? By subsidizing the price. That's how it works in those countries. And we don't do that in Canada at all. And you know what? That carbon tax that was reduced by the federal government in Canada is going to be reimposed again. It was just temporary. Watch, you're going to get screwed by Carney. Again. I'm sick and tired of bending over. Sick and frickin' tired. Let's go, Alberta. Woo. Yeah. My subs on my channel are staying pretty constant at the moment, but they did go down. Lots of people's channels lost subs. Some people lost thousands of subs, you know. I was lucky. I only lost 100. When some kind of a big YouTube hit came, you know, one day and all of a sudden, boom. But, you know, we persevere on. Life goes on. Alberta freedom.
Ringing loud and true. Sovereignty calling, independence coming through. No more woke liberalism.
That's right.
Stealing our way of life. Albertans stand tall, cut loose from the strife.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Stay out of trouble. If you can't stay out of trouble, well, get out of your house, get off the sofa, get out of your basement, quit being a keyboard warrior, and go out into IRL. Okay? And that's exactly where I'm going when I shut the stream down here. I'm not going to go on my computer. I'm not going to go looking at the chat. I'm not going to go surfing the web. I'm going to get the hell out of here and go out into the real world. And you do the same, okay? Have fun. See you another day. I don't make promises, but yeah, we'll be back.